Hello, my name is Gaurav. I have been studying and practicing Vedic astrology for many years. I've built Farfaraway, this astrology website. In this video, I'd like to share how you can use the information you'd get on the website to understand your chart, how you can make best use of the website, how you can put the pieces together. The first thing would be that you enter your birth details carefully. When you reach the place of birth section, here please type in the first few letters of your place of birth, and in case you are unable to find your place of birth in the list, in the rare case, please choose a city next to your place of birth. And if you've made a mistake, go back to the form. Make sure your details are correct. Be also careful of the format of the date and the time. So once you've entered your details, you'd get to see your birth chart. Here too, if you are a first-time user, please check the details again. Please see if the latitude and longitude have been accurately pulled out by the website for your place of birth. Here you'd also see the coordinated universal time, the UTC, calculated based on the local time you've entered, which takes into account the daylight saving time too. So you don't have to worry about any calculation. What you must worry about, what does your chart say? The houses will always be arranged as they are. The first house right in the middle on the top, represented by the symbol H1, and the other houses are arranged around it. The number 2 is a very important number. For this person it's number 2, for you it might be number 7. This is the rising sign, the ascendant, the starting point. Rising sign is very time sensitive, so make sure your time of birth is accurately entered. Now number 2 corresponds to the sign of Taurus. For him, the rising sign, the ascendant, is Taurus. The other signs then arrange themselves around the houses. It now becomes very easy to read the chart. I find Venus in his chart in the 10th house in the sign of Aquarius. If you'd like to straight away want to know what this planetary position means for you, you can simply scroll down to the story section and you'd find the position of planets explained. This is an excellent starting point. You must now take your analysis to the next level and identify the role planets are playing in your chart. For example, Venus in this case is ruling the 1st and the 6th house. Venus is responsible for these 2 houses. How did I arrive at that? The signs that fall in the 1st and the 6th house are ruled by Venus. So if you are unfamiliar with the sign rulers, you can click this button, Rulers, and you'd see a few numbers appearing next to the planets. Now you can see Venus in the 10th in the sign of Aquarius and is further ruling the 1st and the 6th house. What is this abbreviation, this short form in front of Venus, DH? This represents the Nakshatra. So you now have the complete picture. Venus is occupying the Nakshatra of Dhanishta. I understand you would be unfamiliar with these short forms. So next to the birth chart, there's this table where you'd find all the information nicely put together. The planet, the house, the sign, the nakshatra, the sign ruler, the nakshatra ruler. So if you'd like to know something more specific from your chart, like which career direction to take or who might be your partner, you must look at corresponding houses. The 10th house, for example, is the main house related to your career. The 7th house is main house related to marriage. So you're not just looking at planetary positions, you also have the context. In the story section, interestingly, you'll also find information on the position of the ruler of the 10th house and the ruler of the 7th house. The 10th house ruler, its position is going to describe your career. It's a starting point that is already explained in the story. And the position of the 7th house ruler might describe your partner. A starting point that is also part of your story. Furthermore, you can try to more deeply understand a planet's position in a nakshatra. Like Venus in his chart is in Dhanishta. In this table you'll also find information on the nature, the caste, the guna, the gana. This information I have explained through illustrations on the YouTube channel if you're interested. Now Venus Dhanishta together is a sign of massive fame in my opinion, and Dhanishta's ruler Mars in his chart is in the 6th house in the nakshatra Swati. Mars Swati indicates the person is always likely to be on the go, on a physical plane specifically. And Mars's position in the 6th house indicates he's likely to be famous for fighting a battle. So Venus's position in his career itself explains that this person is in competitive sports. This is the birth chart of Michael Schumacher, the famous Formula One racer. From Venus's position, which signified fame, we also were able to identify what would this person be famous for. You must read the D9 chart, the Navamsha chart, to fine-tune your analysis. The D9 chart is derived from the main chart. The numbers next to the planets correspond to the houses. These planets are ruling in the main chart. Here too I'm linking planetary positions back to the main chart. And the same I've done in the Dasamsha, which is more directly linked to your career. There's another aspect in the main chart I'd like to share, and that's the aspects. Planets, wherever they are placed, they're also keeping an eye on other houses. So if you click the button aspects, you'd see a few numbers appearing next to the planet. These are the numbers corresponding to the houses the planet is also keeping an eye on. So if you'd like to go back to the default view, you can click this third button, and now you see the degree values of different planets, and you interestingly also find AK and DK marked next to two planets. The AK corresponds to the Atmakarak, the planet holding the highest degree in your birth chart, and the DK corresponds to the Darakarak. The AK corresponds to your personality, the DK corresponds to your spouse. So far I have been sharing planetary positions with you. Now if you'd like to predict life events, I would strongly recommend you rely on the dashas. In the dasha table you'd see the Mahadasha, Anta and the Pranta Dasha, and here too you'd find a few numbers next to planets. They represent the houses these planets are ruling in the main chart. So whilst reading the Dasha table, you'd also have a view on which houses the Dasha planet is ruling in the main chart. It can be very handy in your analysis, so you don't have to go back to the main chart. I have posted a detailed video on how to read the dashas on this channel if you're interested to know how to predict life events. Predictions must also take into account the transits. So if you've identified from the Dasha table that there's a high possibility of a promotion during the Pranta Dasha of Jupiter, Jupiter's Pranta Dasha might last for a few months. From the transit, you can narrow down which days might be favorable. So in the transit table, you'll find daily data for many years. So you pick the year range, then you search for the day, a particular day. 9th of October 2023, you search for it, Control F on the search box, enter the date in this format, get the corresponding planet data. The data in the transit table corresponds to your chart. The number in the square bracket is the house in your main chart that planet is transiting on that particular day. You also find the exact degree value, the sign, the nakshatra and the pada. See, the purpose behind me sharing this with you is that you now have all the planetary data necessary for you to do a comprehensive analysis. And if you'd like to change the birth details and check someone else's birth chart and the corresponding story, you can do so. If you refresh the page, instead of confirming the details, if you click this button, the form is empty, enter new details, they would also be stored in the queries section on the top. So you can always go back to them. I've also recently launched Match, a compatibility calculator. So if you add your details and that of your partner, it's going to explain how compatible you are. The information is self-explanatory, so I'll leave that to you to explore. And lastly, I keep posting articles on the blog. So if you take out the time to understand your chart logically, I'm very sure it's going to make sense. Well, this is it. If you have any questions, please post a comment. And if you'd like to stay in touch, please subscribe to this channel. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.